Hi guys. Welcome back to the Honestly Asked podcast. I think this might be our 6th episode.
But it's the first one of 2024.
It's the first one of 2024. We had a little break accidentally.
It was a big break.
It was a big break.
Spent 19 days in the sunny coast.
We did. And we had a break from doing podcasting for like 3 weeks, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. And I almost even lost my t-shirt tan.
Oh, yeah. I haven't actually looked at that.
Yep.
The update of the t-shirt tan.
Yeah. Well, I wear a polo shirt every single day, so obviously I have the worst t-shirt tan possible.
Yeah. Also, if you can't, if you are an audio listener, you can't see Miles right now, but he is literally taking over the podcast, sitting on Michael's lap.
Yeah. Anything to say, Miles? He's actually looking at me right now, which is kind of funny. Good boy, Miles.
So good. We actually, to explain what we're talking about, we actually went to the sunny coast and we stayed there for so long. But we were staying in Noosa. We were house sitting and it was so cool.
This is the nicest place ever.
Yeah. We found this place online to house sit and it was really cool. We feel kind of blessed that we got that opportunity to house sit a really cool place.
Yeah.
And the people were lovely.
Yeah, the dogs are really nice that we sat for. They were 2 huskies and it's like summer, so it's really hot and they were like very inactive, but they were just very nice.
Yeah, I felt bad for them because of how hot it was. Like we let them inside every now and then to get some aircon. So chill compared to Miles.
They were great though.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, actually,
and it was really cool, like walking around like the property.
It's like a 5-acre property, by the way.
So nice.
Backed onto a lake. It's got a 25-meter pool, and the best thing for me is it still had a gym.
Yeah, Michael went to the gym literally every day because he was like going to be so sad that he was going to skip out on the gym for like literally a month because we were away for a month. Yeah,
it's probably going to be a deal breaker for me.
You are obsessed with the gym, guys. He's obsessed. I swear it comes second to me.
19 days without it would just be hectic. It doesn't come second to you, Brides.
It comes third because the
you're
Lord.
Number 2. Yeah.
Yeah, the Lord, me, and the gym.
My family ranks pretty high.
That's true. That's true.
Yep.
Gym's 4th then.
I think I enjoy eating more than I enjoy going to the gym.
Really?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. I feel like it's pretty equal.
Yeah, that's true.
Michael recently got this purchase that he's been talking about for a long time. Tell him, babe, what'd you get?
I finally got some barefoot shoes, guys. So now I don't have to take my shoes off at the gym all the time and I can just wear my barefoot shoes and get my great toe spread and
They're so ugly.
Improve my foot and ankle and knee health, which will be great.
You know, you're becoming an old man when you buy barefoot shoes.
I'm just trying to increase my vertical jump, everyone. So keep my knees healthy so I can keep playing sport forever.
Wait, is that why you got them?
That's definitely part of it. Keeps your knees, ankles, feet, like it develops all your muscles well. So, yeah, it just like will help me overall.
And what's the verdict? You've had 2 gym sessions.
Oh, they're excellent. My balance is great.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I don't have to dirty my socks every day and take off my shoes. So it's actually really good.
Do you suggest for me to get them?
Everyone should get them.
Nice.
Like, they're kind of like funny to wear and they don't look as bad as I thought, but they don't look great. But they're perfect to wear at the gym. Yeah.
I said to him, I was like, you can get them as long as they stay a gym shoe and you don't wear them as fashion because they're really ugly.
Yeah, like tune in like 1 or 2 months where I probably will be just wearing barefoot shoes for the rest of my life every single day. So yeah.
See, that's what happens, guys. Michael buys these like ugly shoes, right? And then it ends up being his main shoe he goes to.
I actually never buy ugly shoes.
Well, Crocs were ugly originally in my eyes.
And then you bought them for me for my birthday. I know, so yeah.
I know. But yeah, I feel like you often go for your most comfortable shoe, which is good.
Yeah,
but
that's just me in general. I always wear comfortable clothes.
That's true.
Like I love the hack of like wearing something that looks kind of fashionable but is comfortable.
Yeah.
It's the best. And like I always wear sport clothes as well, which is great.
So we actually have been doing this mission called Beach Mission in the Sunshine Coast.
Yep. It's super local for us.
Yeah. And we've been doing it for about
5 years now.
Which is kind of
Every year
crazy.
of our marriage, we have done beach mission.
Yeah. So crazy. To be honest, I was kind of shocked how many years I've done it. And also all the memories I feel like have squished into one. Like not one, but like I feel like I can't remember each individual mission.
Yeah. For anyone that doesn't know, I'll just give you the quick scoop.
Michael, everyone that's from Beach Mission will know the quick
It's meant to be like
scoop.
a low-key reference, Brad. You don't have to highlight it.
Sorry.
So here's the scoop. Beach Mission is a mission that's held in Caloundra and Mooloolaba. And essentially we just go on the beach or go to a little area, run some activities and games and stuff like that. It's actually really super fun. If I was going down to the beach, I would jump in a game of volleyball or soccer or something like that we usually do. And then we run youth kind of games at night for at least the teens program, which we've been a part of for a while, where we get to share kind of the message of God to a bunch of randoms, random teens and kids and stuff like that. And lots
some
of
people have
adults
been coming
show
back
up
for a
too.
long time.
And some people have come back for years and years and years. And it's kind of a really cool community for us.
Yeah.
It's just a day program and we don't have to commit to looking after them on a camp or anything like that. It's more
it's they come every
go
day.
to the beach and see who shows up and then, share a testimony and see how God moves.
Yeah, it's really cool. And whenever someone says, "What is Beach Mission? What are you doing again? What is that?" Everyone's always like, "What?" I don't understand it. And so hopefully Michael explained it well, but some kids are not Christian. Some people are from youth groups and they are Christian. Some people found God through Beach Mission. It's actually crazy because Beach Mission has a big history of how long it's been going for.
Yeah, I think it's been at least there for 30 years.
Yeah.
At Caloundra, at least.
Yeah. And I don't know where it originally started because I know that even the guy that because we all did church visits before we started program. So basically we all get together. There's the 2 days before program, which the program starts on Monday. And then the Saturday and the Sunday is preparation time, get to know all the leaders that are volunteers and all that sort of stuff. There's all 60 of us. And so we all split off and go to different local churches in the area. And I visited a church. The guy who was preaching that day, we had a conversation with him and he was saying that his dad did Beach Mission and was a leader in Beach Mission.
Dang.
Which
that's got to be 130 years ago or something.
Wait, I don't even know how to work that out.
This guy's 90.
Yeah. How does that work? I don't know, but kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's so that's so crazy.
Yeah.
If you're ever at Caloundra or Mooloolaba or Moffat Beach.
The first week of January.
Then look for people in green or blue shirts and join the program.
Yeah. It's kind of fun. It's really cool. It's our own little community.
It's the best way for me to start my year. Not just spiritually for me, serving the Lord, but also just practically. It transitions me really well into getting back into teaching and things like that because I run a lot of activities and stuff like that. So it's super practical for me.
True.
And it resets my tone. I do this to build relationships and I do this to I do my job as a teacher to build relationships, make connections and influence and kind of make a difference.
That's cool. Actually, I didn't know that. That's how you feel when you go back into your job.
Yeah. Quick question for you.
Yeah.
So Bridie actually had the opportunity and she's done this for 2 years now. She had the opportunity to do the spiritual input kind of thing, which is essentially her and someone else have the opportunity to preach in the morning and also be almost the spiritual leader of the mission and pray into and provide a message of encouragement and provide a message in the morning that just connects everyone and allows people to join in the mission and support each other as well. How was that? Yeah. How was that this year?
How was that? That's a loaded question.
What did you speak on?
I know we've touched on this on our podcast before that actually my experience with doing what we call the spiritual input role in the mission. That is something that we've shared on the podcast before and that actually inspired doing this podcast, which is kind of cool. I didn't know if God wanted me to do it again or not. I had no idea. This always happens where I go through an experience and then God wants me to share that experience. And I'll give you like, I guess the titles of the first talk that I did, which was on Tuesday morning. It was called When God Feels Silent. And so I spoke on that. It was really cool to just like, I felt like I was just typing, right? And God was just like downloading whatever he wanted and what saw that was needed for like all the leaders. And God was saying like, I want you to speak about this. And it's something that I had experience in. He wanted me to use my experience and share with others. And so I really felt like I went through this experience of not being able to hear God so clearly. I feel like the last couple of years, I've just had this close relationship with God that feels like I can hear him. And I didn't feel like this for like quite a significant amount of time towards the end of 2023. And I know this time was like when we were going through miscarriages and a lot was happening in our lives. And like I started my new job and so many things been happening.
Your life got really busy.
My life got so busy.
Your mind got really busy too.
Yeah. And so something I noticed was that my world felt so loud. So how am I meant to hear God when my world felt so loud? I was not really stopping and thinking like, okay, like God, I need to hear from you. And I felt like I was pushing my own agenda on God, like what my life's going to look like. Yeah, so God actually really convicted me that my calendar and God's calendar is actually not the same and it looks different. And so I was sharing about this. I kept pushing my own agenda, how it's going to look in my prayers even as well. And I felt really convicted by that and that I shouldn't be praying for what I think is best for me, but praying for what God thinks is best for me. And because I actually don't know how my life is going to look in the next couple of months. And to be honest, I don't want to be the writer of my own life. I want God to be the writer of my life. Yeah, I felt like I needed to give that over to God and to help God to push his agenda on my life and not my own agenda. Because sometimes our minds can feel so consumed of what we want and how we want it to look. Sometimes I feel like I see it as like, okay, we're on a path, right? And this path is going straight. And then we make a decision and we kind of go off the path a little bit. And then God's like, okay, let's do a roundabout, go around the roundabout and or chuck a Yui or something like that. And then bringing us back to his plan for us. And so I kind of felt like, God, why can't I hear you? And even in the sense of like, I kept saying, God, should I do spiritual input? And I was looking for answers of, I heard God in this way last year about doing spiritual input. So I was looking to seek God's answer in that same way. And I didn't realize that God was actually speaking to me in a different way. And he was training my ear to go, hey, Bridie, I actually can speak to you in another way. And it's not always going to be the same. And so that really convicted me a lot. And so I actually said, hey, look, I'm not going to do spiritual input. I was in this decision making, I was stressed. I just asked Michael, what should I do? And my logical brain went, I've had 2 miscarriages. It's too much. It's going to be too much on my body.
December's really busy.
And I just went, nah, sorry. And I told the director, I can't do it. Because I made that decision in stress. And because I wasn't feeling like I could hear God directly. And to be honest, I felt like I kept changing God's decision in my mind.
Yeah. I think you, and this is part of it, of what you spoke on, I think you had less trust in God. Your trust in God's plan for you, although like you obviously would trust in God, but I feel like it was smaller because of what happened throughout the year. So like when you're busy and when your mind is like stressed and emotional and things like that, you go to your own way of figuring it out.
Yeah.
And you don't like look to God and trust in him. Yeah. And I think that with everything that we had emotions of like, God, how come this is happening?
Yeah. And also like you like look up a lot of like YouTube videos, and they say just relax, and like you'll get pregnant when you're like not stressed and all those sort of things. And
that
so
was like stressing you out.
And that was stressing me out. And I was like, this is the opposite of what I need to hear. Like, yeah. And so I took it into my own human hands and was like, okay, well, that makes sense, right? But sometimes, I don't know, I just needed to be more silent and hear God's voice more clearly, because I wasn't giving opportunity for God to speak to me because my calendar and my brain was too cluttered. Yeah, and I also just wasn't having that time where I would just give it over to God. And what's interesting though is I remember specific times God would answer me in different ways, and now I can't quite pinpoint them right now. There were little moments, and then I kept saying to God, but surely you can give me another confirmation. And I reckon God was probably like, Bridie, isn't one just enough? Like, and you know how sometimes we do like, oh, like, I know that was a sign and you did say that, God, but maybe like if this happens, I will do it.
Yeah.
Or if this happens, I will do it. We just got to have faith that like God said yes and just run with it. And so I almost was actually like pushed into doing it, and God was like, Bridie, you are meant to do it. And
is that what God sounds like?
No.
Bridie, you are meant to do it.
Because I messaged the director and I said, hey, I was kind of curious, like, had they found anyone to do it? And then he was like, no, like there's someone that might do it, but they're not too sure about doing it. And I was like, okay, God, I see that you're reserving this space for me. So
and Bridie was like, she set challenges and things like that for God, like, if no one else has done it by this date, I will do it.
I kept taking it into my own hands. Yeah. Anyways, so I ended up doing it. Yeah, it was great. I'm so glad I did it. It was just kind of cool to...
You were definitely meant to do it.
Thanks. Thanks, babe. Yeah, so it was really, really cool, and I felt like I was humbled so much. And it was so, so cool to just see when I give over to God this space, this week, my time, and just give it all to him to use me and to use us. It's crazy how much God can actually use us. And I feel like we're limiting God so much. That was the biggest conviction I had. My God, I'm actually limiting you so much because I'm not giving you the time to use me. I'm not letting myself be interrupted by life, by people, by experiences. I feel like I just want to have my structure, and that was just really convicting. And I also noticed that I actually had to retreat to God and retreat and have quiet time quite often because I was pouring out so much and I had to fill up my cup so much. Because when you're doing spiritual input, like a lot of people come to you and want prayer a lot, and
which is great.
Which is so good. Like I felt like I was just in my element of like God just being like, Bridie, I'm going to use you this week. Get ready. And I need you to fill up and spend time with me so that you can pour out and be there for people and pray with people and see God move and do miracles within people's heart. And that was just like the most humbling experience. And I was like, wow, why am I not doing this in my life, in my normal life more than I actually do? Like, we do like a bit of mentoring and sometimes like pray with people and have people over. Yeah. But what if, like, what would our life look like if we prayed more with our friends? And what would our life look like if, like, say, and I was saying this in one of the talks, imagine if you like went on a coffee date with someone, just like a friend catching up, and imagine the difference if you prayed together after and gave like the conversation to God, all the worries that were expressed to God. Imagine how much you can be there for that person and how much God can do. I really feel like we're limiting God in how he can use us.
I think even more than like the impact it can have on us, I think it would have a major impact on the world around us.
100%. And
Yeah.
we saw that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, that was essentially Bridie's first message that she shared. And like, I think it kind of led into like having a bigger faith and having faith that, that can move mountains, but also faith just in God and how he's moving in your life as well. When you do get that intimate time that you can spend with him.
Yeah.
And the second, I'll just like quickly recap it. The second thing that she was able to speak on was like how your eyes are like the lamp unto your soul and how what you see and what you do can affect your spirit. And so like what you listen to and what you watch and things like that, how they can affect your spirit overall. And it was cool because you got to hear a lot of different ways that people were able to like keep their spirit and their body pure. Like spending less time on their phone and filtering the apps that they use on their phone and things like that. And how, like what you see can lead to lust or sin or something like that as well.
And it's so easy in our society. So easy to get caught up in that. And it's just like a never-ending spiral after that.
Yeah. Both messages were definitely very necessary, I think, for people to hear and really encouraging and convicting for a lot of people as well, which was awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. It's cool to see just God like
I think
download and give and like God knew exactly what people needed to hear.
Definitely. I think like one of the best things that I find about Beach Mission is actually that all the people, like 65 leaders are all enabled to be like the different parts of the body of Christ. Like some people like work as God's like mind or God's head, and some people work as his hands, his feet. But you can see like all of the different parts come together and just work with one goal. It's really cool, and it's an awesome community. And some of my best friends have come from Beach Mission. But like part of it is because you can almost talk to any single person there or anyone that's at the mission, because like everyone's joined in one goal. And I think that's kind of what it needs to be more of in just the church in general. Like not a fear of what other Christians especially like might think or feel about you, but more like being able to talk about that one goal and mission that you have in Jesus.
Yeah. And did you notice like towards like the beginning of the week and then towards the end of the week, how the conversations changed and how much faith people had?
Yeah, for sure.
That was just so incredible and eye-opening to me.
Yeah.
Every conversation on the last part of the mission and the halfway through was like so like rich in God and like what their God is teaching them. And I thought that was so incredible to just hear. And I was like, wow, definitely. Like imagine if we had this type of conversation in our normal lives often. Imagine what our lives would look like.
Well, it was a really good week. We absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
I think if we're going to like quickly just pivot into something else, I wanted to ask you, brides. Like Beach Mission was an amazing start to our year, but like, what does that mean for our year? And like, what's our goals for this year? You know, like, not like New Year's resolution vibes, but like what are our goals and like,
like how can we, take that incredible week and feel, inspired by it and lead that, I guess, in our life.
Yeah.
And how does that look?
Yeah. And even just like, what are some simple goals and changes that you were wanting to implement and make this year?
Yeah. Something I really am excited about, and this is why I don't do it, is because my Bible is very ugly. I hate my Bible. It's like,
I don't know if you can say that.
No, it's so ugly. The outside, the case is peeling.
I think you've had the same Bible since you were like 4.
No.
It looks like it.
I got that when I was like 17. I got it at the time when we started dating, actually. Because remember, you wrote your name in it.
I thought you had that like at least 2 years before I wrote my name in it.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe
so
it was like
more
15.
Like 15, 14.
Yeah.
Feels like that.
Anyways, I really want to lay my Bible out within my home. And I was thinking about this today because then I can go to it. And whenever I want to seek wisdom, and I don't want to go on my phone to like look up a scripture or something like that often. I want to be able to look in my Bible. And I actually got highlighters for Christmas for my Bible, and I've started using them. So game changing, because like when you highlight something in your Bible and that it spoke to you, you can like kind of flip through the pages and find that again. Especially like if you really want to get in depth, you can like color coordinate the different themes and stuff and like the season that you're going in. But I was just like, oh my gosh, I would love to like cover my Bible or like buy a cover or put fabric over it or something so that I could lay my Bible out and it won't feel like kind of an ugly piece.
Yeah, I think that'll be cool if you could leave your Bible out and then like, just like check it.
Even.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'd be cool. But I don't know where I'd put it. Like
you can
if you
easily
get that,
read it. Like it would be ideal to have it on the table because then you could read it every time. But
then I know like other stuff will pile on the table because there's something on there already, you know.
Yeah, well, isn't it just the same as having deco on your table?
I guess it has to be a really pretty cover.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's what I've been thinking about recently. I would like to do that.
I'm wanting to get a new Bible as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. I would like a new Bible, but I'd feel sad that like I would lose all my highlighted stuff in my Bible.
You don't really lose it. You're not going to throw your Bible out, so.
I know, but the reason why I want a new one though is because the pages are all pink and it doesn't match it if I cover it. And that's why I haven't covered it.
Yeah, you can get one, brides.
I can get a Bible?
Yeah.
Maybe I should.
Yeah, only from an op shop though.
Michael.
One of our New Year's resolutions is that we can't buy anything this year.
Yeah.
Well, not like that we can't buy anything, but like neither of us are going to buy clothes.
Yeah. I said to him, shoes. I can buy things at an op shop.
And she said, yeah, I can buy things at an op shop. And I was like, okay. And that's why I said you can buy a Bible from an op shop.
Yeah.
But I'm just joking, guys.
Yeah. Because anyways, side note. So Michael, what was like the highlight of Beach Mission for you this year? And what was God like speaking to you about?
Wow, okay, a reverse pivot for me.
Yeah.
I kind of always love the idea of just being able to really connect with people.
Yeah.
I think like as a whole, I can have so many genuine and really sweet conversations with people. And it feels like I'm at my best at Beach Mission because I'm so intentional with my time.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can just function so well just because it's like a very similar setting to teaching as like in school.
Yeah.
So if I was like to specify a moment, I was just like able to have like a really deep and great conversation where we could really open up with just a group of guys who were like similar age to me. And we could just sit and reflect on like the year that we had. Program wasn't really on that day because it was like raining like crazy. And so like there weren't many kids who came along to the program to listen to the testimony and stuff. So I just sat with 4 other guys and we just talked about our year, like the best things that have happened.
That's
and
cool.
The worst things that have happened. And it was just a really good, safe space to be real and talk about like actually like what was going on. Every person in that group like took on that vulnerability and was able to just share. And yeah, at the end we were able to pray with each other. And I think like that and those moments, I was like, oh, this isn't usual for 5 people to come together and actually just share openly. And then pray together. That
cool.
was definitely one of the best moments. But every person that I actually got to chat to, I really loved. And
you're really good at being relational. Like I feel so inspired by you because you're so good at speaking to people. And like encouraging them and giving them like words of wisdom and linking it back to God so well.
Thanks, Brides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a really cool talent of yours.
Yeah.
And it's really cool like because we've been able to see our marriage together like work for like his kingdom, but we got to like, I don't know, have some really good chats with people together, pray with people together, and that just does like wonders for our marriage. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think one of the best things for us is especially hanging out with young couples and younger people as well, because naturally, like, we're able to give them our wisdom, but we're also able to learn from them.
Yeah, I learn a lot from people that are only a couple years younger than me.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
they are still in a different stage of life, so it's like you learn a lot.
Yeah, and it keeps us super fresh.
It keeps us fresh.
When I'm on this beach mission, people are like, whoa, I thought you were my age, and everyone there's like 22.
Yeah.
It's great for me.
Yeah. Michael's 27.
Yep.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was actually like I was thinking about it, like when I just had a moment to myself at beach mission. I was like, wow, you know how in the beginning of our relationship you said our relationship will be an example of love? And I was like, that's so silly. Like in my head, I was like, what does he even mean? I have no idea what he means. And this is like my teenage brain. I was like, I have no idea what he means, but I'm just going to agree with him and be like, yeah. But I think like you were right. Like, and I don't want to like boast about us. We have so many flaws about our like relationship and like individually as well. But I think when you give God your relationship and you ask him to use you, it's crazy what God can do. And I really think it's so needed in community to have people and mentors to look up to. Like Michael and I, we have like someone that we look up to, but even then we like, I would love to have like a mentor. I think
like people who are just ahead of you in life and also people who are like the next season ahead. So like for us, it would be great to have people who are like just a few years older than us, who have a lot of wisdom, speak into our lives.
Especially
but also
like with kids and stuff, because that's our next season.
But also have people with like older kids speak into our lives as well.
God made like the family dynamic for a reason, and even countries that aren't Western countries know what they're doing. Like some people like have like a whole different generations of the family in one roof, and that teaches like you so much because you're learning from each other and each other's experiences. People are so willing to share and be there for you, but I just think it's not modeled enough. And so it's been cool to like do that with you and model that, so in hope that
it has been great.
People will like do the same after, you know? Yeah, it's really cool.
I think that's great. Are you trying to say that we should move in with your mum and Amelia?
No. But you know, that's the like the example. Yeah. But I would love to have property with like all our houses on it. That'd be really cool.
Of course.
Still my own space, but like you're still in community. Yeah. Michael and I had the really, really cool privilege we have like a girls panel and a guys panel, and the girls, like we had like a separate worship session, and like then we get together and have a panel. And so I picked a few people to be on the panel that I think that would share some really great wisdom and would speak
people send in anonymous
truth.
Questions, and then the people on the panel kind of answer it, or like some people add their input and things like that. Yeah,
it's really cool. And it starts to become like this conversation that is just so healthy, and we hit topics that like no one talks about usually. It's really, really cool because the topics are coming from anonymous questions in like this like link that we send a group chat, and so everyone enters in their questions. So the questions that come in are really, really cool. And so we did this last year. I just felt the Lord convicting me to do this because it hadn't been done before. Michael got to come and join the panel, and which isn't really normal, but we got the opportunity to share like our testimony.
Yeah, and part of our story.
Yeah. Which was really cool, and like it just felt like an incredible moment for us to be able to like share our testimony, and it was so well received.
Like speak about something that was so hard and a big trialing time for us, and how like we got through it. And like to be able to speak about that is just so powerful.
Yeah. It felt like a proud moment for me. Like just like I remember looking at you and I just hearing you speak and I just felt so proud. And it was just a really good moment for us.
Mm.
And it was amazing just like to see how well it was received and
definitely
how much, because it was actually at the beginning of the panel and how much like the conversation was enriched like after you left, because Michael had to go back down to like the boys panel. Yeah, the questions that were asked after and the conversation that came from that was just it felt like God was just like moving in the conversations and it felt just so needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a really good opportunity.
Mm.
I don't think I ever expected that I would speak in front of a group of women.
Yeah.
But it was very good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I definitely felt God speaking through me.
Yeah. And like it actually wasn't my idea. I didn't even ask Michael. Michael's like, yeah, let's share our story. Why not? And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, because like you don't tend to do like a lot of the speaking because I'm always speaking with a mic. Yeah. And so it was cool to have you next to me. And it really felt like, I don't know, amazing.
It was kind of crazy because it felt like we were doing a live podcast because we were like sitting on a couch with mics and yeah. It's cool.
Everyone was like, okay, let's press record. And some of them know about the Honestly Us podcast. And then someone from the back of the audience, they were like, plug the podcast.
It was great.
So I reckon some people are listening.
Of you are listening right now.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
And just going back to the question you had before, how can we take away what we've like learnt and what God has been speaking to us about over Beach Mission, and how can our lives look differently from this experience that we've had? And because we've done a few beach missions, but the last 2 beach missions have just like felt like so moving for my heart and for my walk with God.
Yeah. I think especially for us personally, it's been massive.
Yeah. And because as we go through the years, like we've been doing Beach Mission for 5 years, we've gotten older as well. And so it's been really, really cool to like serve in a space that we know so well, but to see God do something different in that space has been really
None of the
incredible.
years have been the same.
Yeah. This year, I want to do like the Bible, leading the Bible out, but I also just want to, and this is something that like I've practiced before, but I want to be a bit more intentional about it, about spending time with God throughout my day and not just in the time that I spend with him in the morning. And seeking him in everything I do. Like, how does it look like in my workplace? How does it look like in my car drives? How does it look like when I'm hanging out with friends? Like, I want to be able to just feel so present with God that I'm hearing what he wants me to do when I am out and about, and not just in like closed doors reading my Bible, you know?
Yeah.
And I really want to pray for people more.
Yeah. I think that would be great for you. I think for me, I definitely want to have more intentional time with God where I actually sit down and spend time with him, and I'm not doing anything that might be like a distraction or something like that, and have a notebook next to me so I can write down everything. And also like one thing I want to do this year is just keep a notebook with me like almost at all times, and just like be ready to hear from God, but also write down any ideas that come to my mind. It's something that I've been thinking about for a bit of time, but like often I feel like God will speak to me in my normal everyday life and I'll forget what he says to me. And when I have those ideas and like when God does speak to me, I want to actually remember it and go back to it and, you know, like keep that with me. Yeah,
I think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
And like you were saying that you want the notebook to be small so that you can carry it around with you.
I definitely want it to be like small so I can carry it around with me.
You talked about like having a tote bag. Do you still feel the same, like carrying around a tote bag?
Yeah, I don't know. It would be great if it could just like fit in my pocket. I don't love having things in my pockets all the time.
Yeah.
But
true.
I'll see.
Yeah.
I'll see what I'll do.
Yeah.
Probably workshop it. Hopefully I don't just forget this idea. Yeah.
It's a really cool idea. I like it.
Yeah.
I want to do it too, but I don't know how it looks.
Yeah.
I guess like I could have like, you know how I'm going to have the Bible out if I have an aesthetic Bible. Maybe I could have a notebook out, but yeah, even like when you're out and about out of the house, it's like hard.
Before we finish, I'm going to give you some New Year's resolutions and goals I have for this year so you can all keep me accountable.
Oh, yeah.
We're not like just talking about Beach Mission for the whole time.
That's all I wanted to talk about. I loved Beach Mission.
I gave you one before and it was we're not going to like buy any clothes or shoes or anything like that.
Yeah.
I really want to learn a language or at least like get better at a language. I really need to like workshop this goal, but do something like I want to challenge my brain more this year, like and learn things. And I definitely am smashing through more audiobooks and I'm going to read a lot more. Learning a language, kind of like Tagalog will be the easiest one for me, but that will be one. Like I have another goal, but it's like, it's got to be some sort of sporty goal. I don't know. I'll rethink it.
What about your vertical jump?
Yeah, it's got to do with my vertical jump. That's what I'm thinking. But I don't know. Can I jump 50 inches? That's a big goal.
What have you done before?
I think I'm at like 45 inches.
Okay. What's Isaiah do?
I think he's like around the same.
Oh, really?
Something like that.
So that means you can make a TikTok on that and blow up as like he did.
Well, he's kind of a lot taller than me.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between.
Because the vertical jump only goes from your feet.
Yeah. Well, it's like what you can reach. So yeah.
Yeah, I see.
But hey, 2024, 50-inch vertical jump.
Nice.
Oh, that's a scary goal.
Yeah. My goal, I haven't fully thought about them, but like some passing thoughts. I want to be able to have a really consistent schedule with like putting out reels for the podcast, like advertisement reels, like little snippets of the videos and stuff. Also want to make the lighting a little bit better. I just really want to work on the podcast a lot more.
Yeah.
Maybe different chairs because I feel like it would be nice to have like white chairs so that like I don't always have to match with the aesthetic and I can wear whatever color on the podcast.
Yeah. Obviously have a baby.
Oh, of course. I think that's the biggest obvious one. I'd love to be a mum.
I know what it is.
What?
You've said it. You want to sew more.
Yeah, I do. I do want to sew more.
The biggest thing that Bridie said is she's been really loving sewing.
Yeah.
And she wants to sew more.
Yeah. When I was making my costume for our annual Christmas party where we dress up, I was like, oh, why don't I sew this often? Like I love sewing.
Yeah. So if you listen to this podcast, please remind Bridie whenever you see her to sew.
But the thing is, babe, I have so many things I have to juggle. And so that's why I really want to do that whole like month of pushing out content, like, and seeing what I'm capable of. Like, can I edit a YouTube video, a podcast video, record a YouTube video and record a podcast video and edit reels in 1 week plus do my job? I don't think I can. It's a lot. Because like I'm working 3 days a week and then the other 2 days, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And I still want to have a social life. But yeah, I said to Michael, I really want to do like a whole month of just like going for it and like pushing out content.
Yeah.
And getting better at like my routine with it. Because I think I lost a bit of the routine when we had the miscarriages and stuff. So that's definitely a goal of mine. I just need to pick what month I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Because it feels like I'm just getting my life together in January, to be honest.
I guess in the end, all these goals are great. But we have like 2 main goals, which is like things that we said about God and having a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I don't get 50-inch vertical jump, then I won't be crying about it at the end of the year. If Bridie doesn't get to sew, then she probably won't be crying about it at the end of the year. But keep praying for us, guys, because we want to have a baby.
We do. We really want to have a baby. I've been buying like baby clothes from op shops. I don't know if that's healthy, but I love it.
Yeah.
I have a whole stash of baby clothes. I just like hunting for things that I like. And when I see it, I want to buy it because a lot of baby clothes is kind of cheap at op shops because babies don't wear things for very long. And so they're only like $1 or $2.
Yeah.
And you can get some like really good brands when you do that. Even just some like cute little outfits. And then a big goal for this year, probably buying a house.
That's it. 2024 first podcast.
So hope you enjoyed like hearing the recap of like where we've been and our experience with Beach Mission. It's going to be exciting year just doing these podcasts with you. And I feel like I feel a bit more confident talking on the podcast, especially after doing the panel. But do you reckon?
Yeah. Yeah. A bug just flew in. So I was like, whoa. It's a wasp.
Oh my gosh. Can you guys see that? There's a wasp.
Wait, how come did you leave the bathroom door open?
Oh, no, I didn't. I shut it.
Oh, dang. Wait, how come we got wasps in our house?
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, see yous.
Michael's really concentrated on that wasp not harming
Stinging
us.
us. Yeah.
Okay, bye, guys.
See ya.